World Order shattering. The Beijing Pact is making rapid moves. This Cold War is tearing NATO to the brink. Spain and Turkey are questionable if they will join the Beijing Pact. There's also 3 other nations we must question. And they are, if this war goes hot, it may not be a NATO victory. The Beijing Pact has thus rapidly expanded. How did this happen? Well, welcome to today's video. And sit down and grab a snack. We are headed to 5,000 subscribers, so please subscribe. Also, in the last episode, let's get to the map of today's video. In the last episode, the Beijing Pact formed, which is to get against the NATO-led world order. Iran had a civil war. It's now the People's Republic of Iran. Ukraine beat Russia. Russia got overthrown. The First Russian Order, they're part of the Beijing Pact and the CSTO. Also, Israel committed war crimes in Lebanon. What a shocker. Well, let's get into the video. And the new Russian order starts their invasion of Ukraine. So let's go to the layer that's on. And also, in this war, yes, Ukraine, have fun. Big Ukraine, biggie Ukraine. Probably shouldn't make fun of Ukraine, because they're about to get heartbroken. Also, I feel like that blue's a bit too dark. Yes, this blue is perfect, everybody. I found the perfect blue. I am King Andrew I. Yes, not King Henry VIII. He's evil. We don't like him. He smells bad. Well, he might not, but he definitely does. And well, let's see how it goes. Well, with this war starting, one statement has been made by the Russians. Today we marched into Ukraine. We will liberate the Russians and destroy the evil state of Ukraine. NATO will bow to us and we will rise out of the ashes. Death to America, glory to the motherland. And well, let's go into Crimea, Donetsk, Luhansk, Kharkiv, and Sumy. Let's bring in the cities because we need cities. With the Crimea offensive happening. Yes, Crimea. You're very important, Crimea. We love you, Crimea. And yes, the Russians march into it, and they quickly march towards the Battle of Sevastopol. Meanwhile, at the same time, they move towards Mariupol. They move into Donetsk and Luhansk, with Luhansk and Donetsk falling pretty fast, and then followed by Mariupol falling. At this point, Sevastopol falls, and then from the north in the Belgorod and Kursk direction, they come in and they quickly move in to capture Sumy and Kharkiv and more. As this becomes the front. And well, in the north, they move in, quickly rampaging towards the encirclement of Kiev, and they march towards the Dnieper from the south, reaching the Dnieper River, and even taking Zaporizhzhia. And Kherson, because they already crossed the river. And this direction, these two fronts fall. But let's go to Indonesia. They have a darkest part of them they're going to reveal too. And well, also, just let you know, when these borders change, it won't be accurate on like the alliance maps and such, just because, well, it's a different layer. Not a big deal. But the Indonesian War of not Independence, that's a lie. The Indonesian War of Expansion has broken out, with the goal to secure the Strait of Malacca. Can they do it? And well, they fight East Timor. They fight Brunei, Malaysia, Singapore, and a lot of others, but yeah. I think Papua New Guinea, yeah. They don't go after the Philippines, fearing American intervention. They should fear it now. But just this chess game has begun. The chess game has begun. And thus the first 3 targets, East Timor, yes. Papua New Guinea, yes. And, well, Malaysia in this part, and Borneo, I think the island is. And well, they quickly march into this part, completely taking it over, faster than NATO can react. The UN has thus officially fallen. And well, this led to Indonesia invading Malaysia, Singapore. Yes, already said that. Don't need to say it again. But anyways, and you can also see it. Yes. As Papua New Guinea loses its capital and collapses in on itself. And thus Singapore falls, and Malaysia's capital, I forgot the name, but it falls. And thus they annex it all. Annex. Annexation party. Who wants to come to my annexation party? We are annexing Greenland! Greenland, you know how they say it belongs to the USA? No, that's a lie. It belongs to Wild Mapper. You know how they say the Gulf of Mexico should be the Gulf of America? No, it should be the Gulf of Wild Mapper. Like, trust me, governments are all loonies. The right, the left, the east. Yeah, I hope there's no eastern parties. But let's go to the fall of Kyiv. Yes, Ukraine. I feel bad for Ukraine in this series. And realistically, Ukraine's a great nation. Don't let those pro-Palestinian bigots tell you any differently. And yes, we're going to call them bigots because I feel like it. And also, I'm secretly pro-Palestine. Secretly. I'm also secretly pro-Israel. Just depends on whom you are asking. I'm a secret fan of actually humans, so neither government. But the Russian order is crossing the Dnieper. They've already done that. They march in, and Kiev collapses. Thus, their crossings on the Dnieper near Kherson, the city of Kherson, goes very well. And well, they march in across through Myroklave, and they quickly move in and take Odessa. Thus, with Odessa's fall, a big encirclement is created. Thus, Ukraine collapses in this front, and the march into Lviv is stated. And as Lviv falls, Ukraine is forced to surrender, and they have a fun peace treaty. Full annexation. Don't you just like it? Full annexation. Now, Russia has another speech to give. As you can see, all these cities, nice. Also, I didn't color in half of Russia. Oops. But I will, because we need to go on a war on multiple fronts. So we will, now. The Russian Rampage War. It's the annexation war of Russia. But before we get there, we must listen to a speech. We must secure our southern, western borders against the evil NATO. Kazakhstan, Armenia, Tajikistan, Kyrgyzstan, Moldova, Azerbaijan, Georgia, Belarus, Uzbekistan, Turkmenistan, and Mongolia for national defense and to secure our dominant position. But before we begin, I would like to say, Belarus just gives up. Belarus, you should never give up. That's just a bad lesson. Like, you're giving my viewers a bad lesson. You're basically telling them they should be submissive. No, they should be evil. Well, they shouldn't be evil either, but I don't care. You should be like Russia. Somebody gives you shit, you should knock them up. No, that's not what I mean. I mean, you should fist fight them. That was a bad example of not thinking. But nobody needs to know but us, right, viewers? Y'all are great. Also, I'm not American. Just to let y'all know. Yes, y'all. And no, I'm not being funny. Fine, I am. But look at all the fronts. There's no way they can win. They barely got through. They lost to Ukraine a few years ago. Oh, wait, that was, at this point, 2 years ago. Yes, 2 years ago. And now they think they can take on the world. Who knew in a year process a country could go from failing in Ukraine to being great? Make Russia great again. Oh, that quote doesn't hit good enough. As Moldova falls, let's hop over to the Caucasus. What happens in the Caucasus? First, Tbilisi falls. Artsakh joins the Russians, because why not? Nagorno-Karabakh feels the urge to join the Russians. And they take the exclave. What's the exclave called? As they move in, quickly taking over Baku and getting oil, 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 oil. Also, Everai, if you ever start a war, make sure there's either black gold, gold, cobalt, or any of those things. And don't do it like Genghis Khan. Like, no, just don't be a Genghis Khan. Like, if you want to conquer the world, be more of a Roman than a Genghis Khan or a British Empire. Honestly, the British Empire's great. Day one of definitely not trying to be called racist. Because I'm not racist at all. On Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Saturday, Sunday. As they annex the Caucasus. Oof. Caucasus, you're dead. And well, let's go to the Mongolia front, because I know you want to go to Central Asia, so we're going to Mongolia first. And well, they move south. As they quickly move in and take Ulaanbaatar, they cut the country in half. Mongolia is like, we give up. Also, guys, if somebody tries to invade your space, you should punch them back, personally. Day one of giving questionable advice. And well, let's move into Kazakhstan and take Kazakhstan's capital. With the forces moving in south to try to take the rest of the cities as Kazakhstan becomes neutralized, they take Uzbekistan and Kyrgyzstan's capital, Tajikistan's, and they move into Kyrgyzstan, taking the city, moving towards the China border. Yes, the China border. And then they come in, landing here, and they march in to take over the capital of Turkmenistan. Thus, with all this falling, we'll be back after a quick piece. All of the Caucasus, all of Central Asia, and even all of Mongolia. As you can see, they have greatly expanded their influence, and the Beijing Pact is more dominant over Asia than it just was. But a big shock happens. A few nations join. First, Laos, Cambodia, and Pakistan join the alliance, the Beijing Pact. But it gets even better for them as Egypt joins. And Ethiopia, and there's many more nations that are wanting to join but haven't. Saudi Arabia leaves this pact to join them. Yes, leaves their pact they're in to join this one. And well, this is a massive blow as the Beijing Pact has just expanded greatly. But we need to go back to the first layer. Also, this is the economic layer. It needs to be changed. Yeah, that's BRICS Plus. It's a mess, this map, honestly. Like, EU makes sense. I'm just trying to fix this. Yeah. So let's go to World GCF and see what China has to do. Yes, we're going to the regular world. And China is about to do something very great for China. Not great for anyone else. They're invading Taiwan. Oh yeah, for them, I guess. They can have fun. Go nuts. Honestly, you should. Just do it. Also, probably shouldn't take my life advice. I'm drawing on maps, yeah. As Taipei falls. Taipei. I forgot how to say it now. That is embarrassing. Taiwan's capital, Taipei. I give up. Also, you should never give up. Unless you need to. But let's add this to the Beijing Pact, and thus we have seen they have made dominant moves. Look at Asia. Look at it. They are just as dominant as NATO now. Good thing these layers are perfectly lined up. Taiwan, you shouldn't be red. Honestly, you're not red. You're not ruthless enough to be red. Personally, you're not, even though you're part of China. Me, this is like the military occupation. It's very unstable. Why am I holding this map? Let's go back to this map. And as you can see, they have become the undisputed winners of the world. And they're starting to expand into Africa. Thus, NATO, AUKUS, and the Rio Pact and what's left of the Peninsula Shield Pact are working tightly together, trying to expand their influence. They know war is on the horizon. This Cold War is about to go hot, and the East is winning thus far, not the West. And let's see what this leads to. Also, now to finish up. We are headed to a boiling point in a massive war, followed with 5 NATO betrayals, but so far the Beijing Pact has secured Asian domination. They have successfully expanded into Africa and expanded across the European plain and Asian steppe. NATO needs to act fast or will burn like the USSR and Oceania and the Italias Dominus series. The light of freedom will go dark like the Eastern Victory in World War III series. Well, NATO is headed to collapse, but will they fully collapse? Feel free to click on the video above. On Sunday, we will go to our Eastern Victory in World War III series. Will the Russo-China alliance stand? Also, to Italia's domination, part 5 on Thursday. Will the Italians fall, or will perpetual horror continue forever? Thanks for watching, and please click on a video above. Subscribe, and please click a video above. And click notification bell to see future uploads. Please comment your thoughts and theories on my series. That's all for today's video. Wild Mapper out. Bye, guys.